Well, today I'm finally getting around to helping James on his painting. Now, James is a Patreon member, and he sent me this painting a couple months ago. And I'm going to show him. He got stuck on it. It's a cool subject, isn't it? A golf course at sunset. But he got stuck, and I'm going to fix it. So this is going to be quite interesting. Now, this is an oil painting. And so I've got my oil paints. I've got one oil brush. I'm a little disorganized. Just got back from the class. And so anyway, here we go. I may have to grab my acrylic brushes, but I'll just continue in oil. There are a couple things that I want to do to this painting. And the first thing is I'm going to take some white and some yellow. I'm going to show most of the process. I may not show every single brush stroke. I'm going to show most of the process, enough where you can get an idea of what I'm doing. You know, if something's repetitive, I may cut it out. So this may be a long video. Okay, so our sunset is here. I'm going to work from back to front as I do some basic corrections and also finish the painting. Some of this is just unfinished. And so here's what I would do. First of all, I love the beautiful colors. The tones I think are well done. Love the browns and the green, you know, kind of contrasting. This is where it doesn't get watered, obviously on the sprinkler system here. Our beautiful tree with the contrast between the dark and light. I think that's really, really nice. So let's work on, and the sand bunkers, I think the way that he handled those, the shadows there are very appropriate. So let's start right here. I'm going to begin, I've got this kind of attached funny, there we hold it down. I'm going to just begin brushing now some of my yellow and white. With filbert brush, use any brush that you want, kind of irrelevant. Something stiff enough to move this paint around the canvas. A little clear gel also helps, and you can see already the difference that is beginning to make. Just want to take a second and let you know this video is really sponsored by our Patreon members. So if you're not a Patreon member, I highly suggest that you click the link in the description and at least check it out, because you can sign up for just 1 month and try it and see if you like it. I've got all kinds of full-length lessons on there depending on what tier you sign up for. We also do the occasional critique video where I'll go in and kind of show you some areas where you can improve your painting. You'll send in pictures of your painting. Just random things like that are a lot of fun. Monthly live streams, that's probably the most fun. We just get to hang out. You can chat in and ask questions, and I'll answer them live as I'm doing a painting. Honestly, Patreon is probably one of the most, if not the most fun part of this whole painting journey for me. Really has been Patreon. It's amazing because I get to interact with you guys. So I'm super thankful for all of you Patreon members. And if you're interested, you can click the link in the description. And all right, let's get back to the video. Now, this is just step one. We're going to do a lot here. And I'm going to just begin to work out some of these pockets here of light through the trees. Let's bring a negative area down here. Okay, yes, we can work with that. I'm not going to keep these trees dark green around the top and around the edges. I'm going to make those more of a golden. See how he's got these beautiful golden trees here? And so that's what I'm going to do. By the way, when I'm done with this painting goes back to James. So if you're not on Patreon, you're missing a lot of fun, because we do fun stuff like this. Now I'm putting this on YouTube, but you got to be on Patreon if you want to get in on this stuff. And I'm sure I'll be doing this more and more. I think this is a really neat way for you guys to learn. And I get to interact with you guys in a different sort of way, which is cool. So there you can see I'm adding. So now I've just lightened it a little bit. Just a little, not much, didn't need much. Let's take some titanium white, boom, right here. You ready? You ready? Now, James, I think that you had the right idea here. The only thing I'm doing, I'm taking your idea and I'm enhancing it. I'm making it more punchy. I'm like, whoa, okay, yeah, it is sunset. It is very sunset back there. And I think that this is going to become more evident, as I love the sunset, beautiful colors. It's going to become more evident as we build in these trees. So yellow, see, James already did that there. And I'm going to now begin to just tap in some foliage. You can use any kind of method that you really like, but this is fine. Tapping in our little foliage areas. Yeah, there we go. As I stand back, what does it look like? I don't even have my monitor on down there. I need to turn that on so I can see what I'm doing. I've got no reference photo. James did not send me the original reference picture. Probably a good thing, because sometimes when you're painting from a photo, that can be part of the problem, is that you're painting from a photo and it's not translating to the painting well. That is a big problem. We don't talk enough about it. Big problem. So you got to be very careful when you're painting from a photo that it's actually going to work. And that comes somewhat from experience. I'm going to make some videos on Patreon showing you what kind of photos work and which ones don't work and how to make them work. So if you're interested, I've got a link in the description. I haven't made the video yet, but it's on my list of videos to make. There we go. Okay, so the light's coming through. I haven't done much. I've just sort of established a little bit of direction of light. I'm going to keep James's original backlighting concept. I think it's very pretty. Let's go with a little red as we work out from the orange. I'm going to add some red. I did this once before. I did this with Kathy's painting. It came out really, really good. She did a great job. Completely different subject. And that's also here on YouTube if you're interested in seeing that. I think I did that one live. This one I'm just recording, which works out honestly better. I've got less going on. Ooh, that's pretty. Boom, look at that. Look at that. Wow, 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 wow. Wait till we pull tree trunks through that. So again, James had it. I just think it went from yellow to orange to green too quickly. So James, the slower you go from one color to another, the better it typically looks in the background areas. Now, that's not to say we don't want bold contrast, light against dark, but in the background, we don't want too much contrast, actually. We want little contrast in the background. There we go. Okay. I'm going to begin to work in some burnt umber now. Oops, I got my blue and black mixed up on my palette. That is a terrible idea, but that's what it is. I'm not changing it now. So that's blue, that's black. Oh boy. Now that's too dark, so what I'll do is I'll lighten that up. Okay. Okay, that'll work, that'll work, that'll work. Look at that. Some beautiful, beautiful purples going in. So rather than the green, which we will have green, because this is green, I'm adding a little purple to soften. In fact, I'm gonna save some of the green in these trees. And really, I've kept the shape of James's trees. Just sort of changed some of the flavor of the color a little. Not much. Not much. Now, I see James's paintings on Patreon, and he is really, really good. This painting he does good. This is just a hard, weird subject that, you know, it happens. You know, I lose about 2 paintings per year. I'll just quit on them. You never see them. About 2 per year is average for me. So it's okay to have one that you're like, yeah, that didn't work. That's just part of art, isn't it? Now, I can't do that here today because this is not my painting. High stakes. I'm going to go darker in this corner because that's what we do. Yeah. Okay, now as I stand back, oh my goodness, that's better. That's better. I'm going to leave a little bit of green here. Actually, I'm going to make a change to my change. The change to my change is I'm going to take some blue, some red, some white, blue, red, and white, make a purple. It's the only way I know how to make purple. If you come up with another way, let me know in the comments down below. It's the only way I know. Okay. So nice and light. A little mud in my brush kind of helped to turn it gray. That's okay. Boom. Okay, then we're going to quickly go into red because we don't want that. Oh, we don't want that blue everywhere. We don't want it to feel. We want it to feel like evening, not 2 different days. Which it could. Which it could. And there you go. Whoa! Look at that. 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 There we go. Stand back. Wow. That'll work. That'll work. really disorganized today. I'm going to get more organized. I've got a live stream to film tonight over on Patreon. Of course, by the time you see this, I will have already long done that. But yeah, disorganization is just a thing right now. And we'll get it fixed before next time. Wow. Okay, now I can take and wipe and go back. This is a baby wipe. Take and wipe and go back. I want to some of those. Okay, yeah. I was looking over at my monitor and there was no monitor there. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, now let's take a little bit of ochre, white, mostly white, and let's get a little bit of that in here. There we go. And then a little bit of our Hansa. That is homemade Hansa yellow. Because, again, I'm super disorganized. I don't even have all of my paints here. Don't have all my brushes, don't have all my paint. There we go. You know. There we go, that'll work. Hold that canvas down there. I like that, I like that, I like that. That'll work. A little bit more orangey right up in here, just in case. There, I like that. Just help make it flavor a little, then a little darker. Not much. Not much. I'm probably to the point where I need to stop. There we go. And honestly, I think this will work. I'm going to go a little darker here. Now, let me see if I can blend what I've got here. Of course, starting in the light areas and working out just very, very, very softly. Brand new, clean 2-inch. You can use anything you like. That'll work right there. That will work. Soft. Soft and subtle. Little brush strokey, still a little movement in there, and I think that that is appropriate. I think that'll work. I think that'll work. I actually love that little sky hole in that tree. I think that's nice. I'll try to keep that. In fact, I may go ahead and strengthen it. In other words, make it more solid, or it's not so transparent. Yeah. Now, it really could be a sky hole. I like that. I think it makes that just a little bit more interesting to have a little shape. I'm sure in a golf course, you know, seeing a round tree, probably normal. Not in this one. Okay, sky is okay. Work on that tree just for a moment, just because I kind of messed it up a little. I'm going to bring out a branch here and there. Yada, 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 not a big deal. So James, you can really see you had the right idea, easily had the right idea. Just made a couple of really small changes. The only other thing I would point out here as I finish this background up, you notice how it's a little lighter, especially in this. I mean, there's some light background trees, and I think that provides a little better distance to have some. Of course, you had that as well, didn't you? You had those orangey trees, and I think that really works. So I guess I'm just kind of keeping some of that going in this painting. Let me darken the bottom just a little. I think it needs just a tiniest little bit of darkness. And by doing the blue up here, I think now we can get away with some more of these greens. Sometimes if your sky is just yellow and then you go with this neon green, it looks weird. There we go. So by having just a little bit of that blue up there, I think it gives me permission to use more of those greens without it looking weird. I'm gonna cool off the shadows back in here a little. Just at the bottom, let the shadows be cooler. At the top, let the shadows be a little warmer. That's fine. Now, as I stand back, okay, I've got this light section here. What do I do with that light section? Do I keep it? I think I'm gonna darken the light section out. I can always bring it back. I think that would look better just in shadow. All I'm gonna do is glaze that over. You see that, James? What that does is I don't know, helps that sort of to not draw my eye. Okay, now as I stand back, yes, now my eye is coming to the green and not wanting to slide over. And I think that it's going to make a nice separation between those two elements there. Okay, let me darken that spot there. Cool. I believe this is part of the grass. I'm gonna make, it's a little bit hard to tell. I think there's just an unfinished area where you just put an underpainting, not a problem. Just checking my cameras, okay. Let me just get up here, tap a little foliage on that tree. Soft, 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 soft. Soft, soft, soft. Still allowing that beautiful umber and ochre tones to show through. That's a little too misty. What do you think? I think it's too misty. So what do? Well, that's okay. You bring your contrast up. If it's too misty, you bring your contrast levels up. I am so glad that James sent me this painting. Honestly, this is really, really fun. Really an awesome subject. He gave me a choice, I think, right? Or did Kathy give me a choice? Somebody gave me a choice. There we go. Super, super fun. Let me get a little blue as well. And I'm not going to, whatever this is here, I'm not going to make it a straight line. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. I'm going to just, there we go. I need to develop this further. Actually, I'm going to take a baby white. I'm going to develop this further by rubbing it very softly. Soften some of this so my light and my dark are not harsh there. Yeah. That'll work for a minute. We may need to go back and do some more, but for now, that'll be okay. Let me see about I don't necessarily want a bright highlight, but I want something on there just so that it's not blank. Is that going to work? It's a little much. I'm just going to darken it slightly. No big deal. No big deal. Wow. Okay. There we go. Yeah, let's take all of that together, some of that dark. Pop our dark back in. I think less is more on that tree. I think you would, yeah, I would probably not want to go any more than that. So that's that. So I've got my basic tree line kind of more or less established. That's looking really, really good. Man, the bones of this painting were awesome. Absolutely awesome. Love that. Love that. I think we need a little, as I look down at the monitor, I turned my monitor on where I normally live stream, so I can actually see the painting through that as well. That helps me a lot. When you're painting, it's important to step back, or you can sometimes use a couple of mirrors or just anything so that you can see your painting from far away. Yeah, let me just catch a little of that bottom there as well. Cool. Now, this side of the painting, I'm just gonna scrub this color over the whole thing. Kind of a muddy purple. I'm gonna scrub it on it and put a little clear gel in it as well. And then I'm gonna just take it off. I'm gonna put it on and take it off. This is called glazing. Now, the sound, the green is up, right? The green is up. And so we don't necessarily want a shadow on the green. So I may have to take that part off because the green is physically elevated. There is a valley in between. Here's the valley, and that valley works its way around, right? The valley. So I hope that makes sense. I am just going to darken this. What's this going to do? It's going to draw my attention to this beautiful green, which I don't have to do much work on. And James, by the way, Phil took a look at this painting because it's been in my studio for a while, and he's like, that green is awesome. You know, he loved it. He loved the painting, so it's really cool. And so I don't want to mess too much with the green. And the sand traps as well. Boom. Look at what that did. I can remove it until I'm happy. So that's the awesome part about allowing it to dry. Bring that green right back. I just want, yes, I want some quiet. That's it. That's it. I want some quietness. Some quietness down in here. Awesome. That's what we want, quietness. It just calms it down a little, helps a lot. Helps a lot. I'm going to go with another purple tone. Okay. And I'm going to spread this purple around here. This is kind of a reddish purple because it's going into the foreground, and I've got a lot of clear gel in it. There we go. Purple is a really, really useful color when it comes to sunsets. So I want a lot of my shadows not to be brown, but to be purple. See, color is 50% of your painting. The other 50% is composition, lighting, shadows and highlights, stuff like that. Just a little purple up in that tree as well, soften. We're gonna have to work on that tree because of course I've messed up the edges. Okay, now I want to keep all the, because there's a lot of beautiful detail in this, a lot of beautiful detail. And I don't want to ruin it. See, like those sticks and branches that James put so much time in, all this sticks and branches in the grass. I don't want to lose it. I just am trying to color it. I'm just trying to change the color without changing the design. And I think I just did. Yeah, it's not intense. It's not crazy. It just darkens it a little. And what happens to your eye? Where does it go? Doop, right there. Where's the next place your eye goes? Boom, right there. What's next? Doom, right here. So we've got a composition, and it may actually be a sand trap. And you may kind of, the green and the sand trap may be one object, you know what I mean? So I see a triangle here that kind of works, and then this goes quiet. I think I'm gonna need a little highlight on it, but anyway, okay. You can see how close you really were to this painting being awesome and finished. What a fun subject. I'm sure this is insanely different than the original photo that you were going from, and that's okay. Lighten that just the tiniest bit. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Get some nice soft foliage. Yeah. Softer. So yeah, by doing this tree again, I'm able to get the clean lines of the tree back, right? Because obviously I messed it up, so I've got to kind of put that back. The tree itself was very, very well done. I loved it. Nice dark shadows, good contrast, I think. I'm making it a little less lollipop, but again, I think the lollipop tree is probably real and probably natural with a golf course. But it's me. So there you go. Yeah, I like that. I like that one that sticks down. Okay. Now, tree trunk. Let's establish that tree trunk one more time. There it is. Okay. I see we need a bit of a shadow, so I'm going to reach for a purple. Oops, I grabbed black. I'm going to be doing that a lot. There we go. Yes, so I'm reaching for that purpley color. There we go, darker purple. And so our light's here, tree shadow here. Just real basic, not a big deal. Tree shadow. And I'll just smooth it in a bit with the baby wipe, because this is in front. So smooth that together. I don't want it to be sharp, and then let's sort of add some textures like so. Boom, boom, boom. No big deal. No big deal. We actually may want to highlight. Before we highlight anything, oh, I see something. I see something. Let's go ahead and just get a little softer edge here on that sand trap where the grass is, because it is a little bit far away. Again, in the real deal one, it probably is a pretty sharp edge, but I'm just gonna, for the sake of the painting, soften that edge just a little, just a little. There's a lot of clear gel in that area because I was putting stuff on and wiping it off. So it's wet. It blends pretty easily. Okay, oh, it's pretty. That's pretty. Over here, dark. Yeah, there we go. Darken some of that up. Just, again, a little bit of shadow. Because if you keep your corners dark, your eye will focus to the middle of the painting. A little bushy there. Some darkness here. Work some of these colors into these bushes and grass. See, I wouldn't do, James, it's just a quick teaching moment. I mean, you did an awesome job, obviously, on your painting, and I'm not messing with the foreground yet, but I'm messing with this part. I noticed that you're highlighting with white, and I wouldn't do that with a sunset. I would always highlight with some form of a golden, yellow, red, something like that. So we're gonna just, in fact, I'm gonna put a little gold. I'm gonna put a little gold on the putting green right now. We're gonna come back to that. I just wanted to get the color established. A little gold on the putting green. So to do that, I'm just gonna glaze it with some of my Hansa and clear gel. Hansa and clear gel, you know my brush is dirty and I've only got just this filbert brush. I'm gonna wipe it out. Hansa and white, even a little white, not much, because if you use too much white, you won't be glazing, you'll be painting too opaque. All right, let's just see what we can do about glazing. I think your highlights are perfect. I think your shadows are perfect. Let's just warm it up, especially here. Maybe it could be cooler over here and warmer over here in the middle. What do you think? Whoa. Yeah, and then we'll let that be cooler as it works away from the sun. Little teeny tinge of yellow ochre. Obviously, we don't want this to look rough at all. We want it to be smooth as like a big flat spot of concrete or something. Just smooth, no texture in it, no lumps, no bumps. Smooth. There, good. That's it right there. That's it. Now this green spot bothers me. I'm gonna get rid of it. Right here. There we go. See? I love the placement. You were exactly right. I think that placement of the shadow is awesome. It's just a little too green. Who wants a green putting green anyways? There, okay. I like some of that orangey there, because the orange is kind of pretty against the purple, you know, complementing colors, so I don't want to take that out. Yeah, that looks pretty. I like that just as it is. I'm looking down at my monitor. Yes. Are these rocks? I think these are rocks. I don't have the real picture. Shoot, would there be rocks in a golf course? I don't play golf. Oh man, I don't think there's gonna be rocks. Shoot, is that dirt? It's not gonna be dirt. I don't know what this is, Jimmy, or James, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to paint over it like it's grass? Question mark, maybe? Sorry if that's wrong. This may be where James had it right and I get it wrong. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I don't know. Here we go. I'm just gonna cover it with mid-tone colors. Because I just don't know what it's supposed to be. I know this is the rough. Wouldn't this be the rough fairway somewhere else, maybe? I'm just gonna get a little color on here. I don't want much. I don't want it too perfect. I'm gonna introduce some greens. I say green and I put in orange. I'm sure I picked up green. There it is. I do want some green, I don't want a lot. There is orange in my brush. There we go. It's okay again for me to have that green. Oh, I like that better. And I'm softening a little bit of the textures here. It's okay for me to have the green because I got the blue up there. Yeah, what do you think? Let me stand back. Well, that looks better. I'm not sure what a golf course is supposed to look like, really. And I don't have a picture. I'm going by feeling. Of course, a picture wouldn't help me much here, because we already have a painting established, right? I wouldn't just try to paint a different picture on top. That would be silly. That's not correcting. That's not fixing or finishing a painting. That's just doing it again. I'm not going to be doing. That's not the point of these. This is still James's painting. This is still James's painting, and it is awesome. It's awesome. Okay. Just a little shot of a light spot. I'm going to cover that dark with light. I understand why there's dark there, but I think I'm going to put light on it. Ooh, maybe better. Right, it's just the rough, right? So it's okay to have it a little rough. Okay, yeah, now we got something. Let me go ahead and just bring the putting green back one more time over this right here and smooth that out one last time. Nice, nice, nice. I think that works. I think that works. Now, as I stand back at this painting, look at this painting from far away, I notice that this tree right here is a little, it needs to be blended once more. The interior of the tree is too, don't. You can see where I hit it with a filbert, so we don't want that. Okay, stand back, that's better. That's better. Is that just a little too green still? Let me place in just a little bit of more purple. Now, this is where I reach my not so comfortable spot, like as golf courses, yeah, it's nature. Yeah, these are plants, trees, grass, but it's more like a garden. It's been manicured. And so it's a little different, right? I'm used to painting wild things and not so used to painting manicured things. And so for me, it's a little challenging. So just know that. But that's okay. And of course, our light coming through like this, we're going to definitely, oops, I have to be careful where I put my hand, definitely have some beautiful colors on this side of the tree and behind on that little bit of land. Hey, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Take some darks, dark purples and whatnot. I like the way that is beginning to look. Right? That'll work. Subtle, subtle, subtle. Now, let's see if we can get some subtle grassy things happening here. Again, not too much, just enough. Our light's coming through like this. Let's just get some subtle grassy things, just indicating the rough terrain here. Right? The rough, that's literally what it's called, I think. I'm sure. Cool. Yeah, again, it's not my normal subject, but that's okay. We're learning as we go. Yeah, look at that, look at that. It's pretty. I think by not having the picture, I'm way ahead of where I would be if I did have the picture, because I'd be like, oh, I gotta try to copy. Well, this, I'm just, whatever feels right, I'm doing. I'm just throwing it in, right? It doesn't have to be anything else other than that. Whatever seems like it's gonna fit. This is art and it's yours, and you're allowed to do that, and that's okay. There we go. Okay, we've got a problem now. I just created a problem. You ready? Do you see it? This green, the blue-green here is conflicting really bad with the orange. Do you see that conflicting? So, two choices: tone down the orange and cool it. Put some. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's keep James's original blue and let's tie it in, because I think that would be more of an interesting video than me just painting purple on top of that, which would be my other choice, would be make that purple. Either one will fix the problem. So I'm going to bring in a purpley, or a bluish rather, a very cool bluish green, and I'm going to smatter that on this side. Not too much because it's sunsetty over here, but what this will do is it will tie in. Yeah, and it does, and it instantly ties that together. Color is critical, absolutely critical. If you don't learn how to use color, you are missing half of the painting experience. Now, you could turn this into a fairway area if you made this more shorter and more manicured. Maybe there would be fairway around the... Maybe there's rough... I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know enough to know. It's fine. The golf experts can do their own painting and make it correct. I'm just... Color, shadows, details, I'll get that part right. I may not get the anatomy of the golf course correct, and that's just the way it is. That's pretty though, isn't it? I'm gonna do a little of that blue shot here. Not a whole lot, just a little. Cool, and let's do some of that blue. I love that bluish turquoise. Not everywhere, but just some areas up here on the left. Let's just hit that slightly with that. And I think that actually ties this in. Now this is fitting a little better. Okay, now, purple. Gotta have purple. So we'll do that, red, blue, and white. Dark, dark purple. And with that dark, dark purple, we'll just bring that all through here. That's pretty. Again, not perfect, but it's pretty. Now, I don't want this tree crazy super bright, so I'm not really going to wash my brush out or wipe my brush out. I'm just going to go right into my colors and allow it to become muddy. I'm going to wipe it now because I got too much paint in the brush, but other than that, there we go. Kind of subdued, not too wild, not too crazy. You could use comma strokes on this tree, but it's far enough away where you don't have to. There we go. Yeah, and by tapping, just very softly, see I'm going from light to dark slowly. I think that that's better. Creating a lot of nice interest and honestly making that tree feel like a middle foreground tree, which is perfect. It's about where it's living, is in the middle foreground. Yeah, there it is. Oh, that's nice. I think I like that. Okay, let's do some sticks and branches. Small little detail brush is fine. Grab some color, it doesn't matter, just purple. Thin it down a little. Thin it down a little. I'll use my steady stick. Okay. Use my steady stick, and I'm gonna go up here and just boom, pull down. That's not showing, so I go a little darker. I want to go just light enough where it shows. I could use the liner brush. You could use whatever you like, whatever's comfortable. Wow, just a few branches. I don't need much. Tree trunks and whatnot. James already had some of this in here, but I painted over it. That one there's too much, honestly. Oh, I kind of like it. Do I like that? I don't know if I like it or not. You ever do something and you don't know whether you like it or not? You're like, oh, part of me likes it, part of me doesn't. I'm just going to touch it and soften it. I like it better now. Softened it back into the painting. And we'll continue to do these. You can use your steady stick or not, doesn't matter. Yeah, there we go. Just some old tree trunks back there. And then, actually, James already had some of those here, which is awesome on this side, so I don't have to do it. I'm just going to bring it down through part where I messed up, you know. I painted over it. Cool. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That'll work. Take anything, baby wipe, whatever, because we're doing a dry oil painting. The baby wipe's kind of nice. It helps to blend things in a little. Little archival baby wipe juice. Never hurt anybody. Make sure you get the archival baby wipes. Don't use the other ones. All right, let's go ahead and get some white, yellow ochre, steady stick. And we're going to go ahead and bring in highlight on this little guy. There we go. Not too much. Just enough. And we'll do another color. Oops, I said let's do another color. I thought I picked up another color. I did, but it just wasn't enough to eat up what was already in that brush. So what was in the brush continued to come out. Bring that branch in, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Anyway. There we go. We'll just go ahead and get a few more of these. Purple's whatnot showing on the back side. Kind of an interesting little, interesting little tree. Simple, simple, simple. Nothing to worry about, nothing crazy. It's just sort of there. One branch sticking out through there. That branch ought to be darker. You know, just something silly like that is fine. You don't need to go crazy. Boom, there you go. Yeah, that'll work. And then it also probably should be baby wiped in, honestly. Looks a little sharp. There it is. Mush it a little. Smush it a little. There we go. Cool. So that pretty well concludes to me the back. Oh, we gotta put a flag. I was gonna say we're pretty well done with the background, but let's put a flag in. Some purple and gray. And this flag's gonna live here. How big should it be? I have no idea. I'm gonna say there. And I think the flags are red. I'm gonna place a red right there on it. Yeah, okay, that totally looks like a golf course. Yeah, I must have picked the right size and whatnot. It looks like a golf course to me. And what else do you need? Actually, no, do that. Put a little paint there. Grab it with your finger. I wish that would work. There it is. Boom. That's it. That's awesome. I'm just going to slim it up with taking a clean, dry finger and going right up under it like that. Slim that shadow up just a little. Yes. Wow. Not bad. I'm going to do just a teeny tiny little highlight on the flag itself. Just so it's got kind of a second, highlight, a second color. It's not flat. Yeah, got an orange. And then, of course, just a highlight with some white and yellow. Right down the flagpole. Like so. Yeah, you know what? That's not bad. It's a little sharp. It's a little too sharp. So what do we do? See, I'm not an expert. I mean, James probably could have done better than me on this, but he didn't do the flagpole, so I'm going to. If it's too sharp, you just paint over it a couple times. And do like any good beginner, make some mud. Still not pleased with it yet. Still too sharp. I got half of mine, put my finger on it. It's better. I think we can live with that. It's not as sharp. Maybe that highlight was throwing it off. I don't know. Let me look at the monitor. I'll decide later. It's probably fine. It's too thick. I look at it. I hate this sort of stuff. It's so hard. It's like when I paint deer and stuff in the forest, It's like I spent the same amount of time on my painting as I did my deer. I was like, really? And it's the size of this. I'm not a tedious painting guy at all. There we go. I slimmed it up a little, but I think it's better. Also made a mark. We'll just delete that. Cool. Okay, there we go. I'm good now. I don't like that sort of thing. I really don't. It just feels like so unproductive. Boom. Now, down here, I love the sand trap. I don't think I'm gonna mess with it. What do you think, James? I'm gonna leave it just the way it was. It's really, really pretty. A little bit, just a glint of sunlight. Yellow and white, mostly yellow. Just a glint of that sunlight. That's kind of pretty. And then I'll just integrate. Some of this is just working back and forth, Then integrate that in. See, you weren't very far. I tell you, you were so close to having this thing finished. Really good job. Really, really good foundation. Super, super fun to work on. Super fun to work on. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Oh man, here we go. Let's go ahead and take, I'm just going to take in, I think this is like we're standing on a plateau kind of looking down. I think that's what this is. So I'm going to take and make this a little taller, some of this brushy stuff. Boom. We don't want everything just that dark, so I'm going to, or that light rather, so I'm going to darken it. Yep, I'm going to darken it. Yeah, I'm going to let it slip down into shadow. This is not the only way to paint grass, but it is a way, and it works. Not too tall. Just because it's a golf course, you know, I don't think they're going to have grass that's so far out of control that you need a bush hog to go get it. You know what I mean? I think we need to keep this pretty well under control, just a little bit tall. I know some of my Patreon members golf, and I apologize for that. for this. Oh well. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Yeah, this is starting to look pretty though, isn't it? Just by softening those edges. Soften, soften, soften. Boop, boop, boop. Cool, cool. You see, I'm beginning to establish just a little bit of light. I would use a fan brush, but I don't have one. So I'm going to use this one. Here we go. Yeah, that looks really good. Yeah, look at that. Just a little bit of that light which would be coming through here. Oh, I'm gonna, just separate this little mound there with a little bit of that yellow ochre. Nothing is super bright, you notice. Nothing super, super bright. And this must be like off the course because it really was pretty rough looking terrain in James's when I got, when we first started. This is pretty rough, I could tell. It's supposed to look unmanaged, so I like that. Or somewhat unmanaged, I should say. Let's go ahead and get back with some more of my tones and colors. And I'm just going with some various colors there. Yeah, just go dark. Finally going to introduce a little black into this. Just create some of the best contrast, deep contrast areas. A little texture is okay too. It's an oil painting. People pay a lot more money if there's texture in it. So we want to add some texture. There you go. Boom. Boom. That'll work. Is it perfect? No. Could somebody else do better? Sure. Especially if they knew anything about golfing. But it's good to me. It's good. Soften the bottom of that tree. Yeah, it's fine. Boom. Now, I love this branch. James threw a branch down here. I'm going to do a couple more to help, I think, to help make this painting fit together. I could use my acrylic liner. That would be fine. There we go. Just adding a few more branches and whatnot just here to kind of make it look more busy and interesting. Just dark. It's okay. Because this is a sunset painting. We don't need a whole lot of anything down here. We'll keep the eye focused in the sunset area. Cool. Look at that. Look at that. Well, with that, really, I think we're close to done. I'll step back and make sure I like it. But really, I didn't do hardly anything. James did an awesome, awesome job on this painting. I just made a couple of little corrections with contrast and lighting and mostly color. There we go. But yeah, very, very good. Very good. Touch those in a little. I think I'm going to add just a few colors, purple colors up here, not many, just to this grassy area for the sake of doing it. I think it would help to tie the purples in with the foreground. I think that would be appropriate, and so that's how we're gonna handle that area. I think that'll work. Very, very subtle and simple. There we go. Let's go ahead and get just a few of these strokes in, not too many. Again, of that purple, I think that'll work. Bouncing. There we go. Okay. Now, what do we want to do? I've got some fingerprints down here I'm gonna have to fix. So what do we want to do? Let's take a little of this and a little of that. Mostly purple. Mostly purple. One more time. One more time. And this time I'm actually going to paint in. Actually going to paint in with some of these, like a reddish purpley brown color, kind of mostly just mud. And I'm going to actually paint that in down here. And there we go. Because I want that to be sandy, smooth, not rough. So I'm actually just going to paint. This is a little easier to get that soft blend, I think, with wet color into wet color versus wet into dry. And that just makes that bunker not stand out as much. Yeah. Yeah, it makes it not stand out as much, and I think that's just right. I think we don't want a whole lot more or less. We got some color in there. Just get a little bit more going there. Boom, 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 not a whole, like I said, not a whole lot. Oh, that's too light there, but I can darken it. Just back and forth, nearly done. At this point in the creative process here, you could do anything you want. Try to make it just settle in a little. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Of course, we do want it to look man-made. And so a little sharp line there is, you know, is okay. It doesn't need to be like the sand on a seashore or something, you know, rough. It can be kind of more deliberate, like a garden. Maybe I'll round it off, because bunkers are kind of round. Maybe I'll round that one off. I don't know. It's whatever. Doesn't really matter. Cool. I'm going to leave that bush a little bit blurry and blended. I think that's nice. I don't need to go too far without any of this, I don't think. But yeah, that light there. Okay, I could almost go with a light color as I'm just sort of making this up, obviously. I'm just going to go with a little bit more light color in the grass on this side and leave it nice and dark on that side. Just a little, not much, just enough to sprinkle in a little extra detail, a little extra life and color. I think that is appropriate. Like so. All right, there you go. Pretty cool. I'm looking around. Is that it? Probably. I think that is probably it, because just more or less tried to finish, you know, doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to wipe these bunkers one last time. I want them to be nice and smooth. I don't want a harsh, hard shadow there. I think that'll work. Make sure this is not me making a mess here. There we go. It is me making a mess. There, clean that spot up. Stand back and take a look. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like it. Very, very good. Well, James, you did an awesome job. It did not take much to get this thing finished. And you can see with just a few colors and a few more shadows, how really close it was. So hopefully you enjoyed this. And if you're interested in Patreon, I'll have a link. First link in the description down below. Highly recommend you check it out, because it is by far the best value thing that I offer at all in painting. I really like Patreon. So I will see you in the next painting video. Thanks for watching. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe if you're not already, and click the like button. That helps me out a lot. Stick around, watch a couple more videos, and stay inspired.